Hey, how are you?
Ah, Charlie!
Hey, remember me? Oh, very cute. Where are you from? Where Thailand? Huh? Phuket. Oh, okay.
Indonesian from Jakarta. Jakarta.
How you like Pattaya? Good?
We love Pattaya.
All right.
It's nice. Thanks. Thanks.
Sometimes I read my comment section and I see a lot of the same comments through a lot of my videos. I see, man, why do you talk to women? That's weird. Why do you approach women in the streets? Why do you just say hello, how are you? Why do you that's creepy, that's weird, that's cringy. So let me get this straight. It's weird to say hello to somebody on the streets. It's weird to say how are you. It's not weird to go say on Facebook and send spam 100 likes to the same person who's probably saying that is probably spamming 100 likes to 100 different women on Facebook. He's probably going on dating sites and clicking yes, I like 1,000 times.
You ever see a friend of a friend that you never met but you knew you would click? It'd be a shame if you never got to know me. Was it Bojo's on Friday? Were you there? I must have missed you. Hey, I tried to hit you up but you don't answer. You swore that you would call me back tomorrow. I feel up to make the drive down. This was probably a mistake, but you blocked me. Would be cool to undo it. Who's the guy with the spiky hair? Who's this douche? Who's that dude? Boyfriend? Ow, just got to your campus. Wanna meet up? Hey there, babe. Was just browsing. Where'd your photos go? How'd you go and change all your settings around? Miss your Halloween pics. Hey, it's me. It happened again. Accidentally blocked me, girl, but that's okay. Wake, I just found.
So this is what I want to talk about in this video is the difference between real life social networks and interaction with people and online, basically online fake interaction. Online social networks is basically just a bunch of BS if you ask me. It's never going to be a replacement for real life social interaction. One of the themes of my channel is basically getting out in the real world and interacting with people and just I don't just talk to women in my videos, I talk to anybody. And a lot of the women I talk to, it's not like I'm interested in necessarily sleeping with them, I'm just being a nice person. That's another thing is a lot of people have a one-track mind. They have a user mentality like, well, why would I talk to that person unless I want to get something out of them? Why would I talk to that woman unless I want to sleep with her? No, you can just talk to people and interact and engage with the world. Social networks and the difference between real life social networks and online virtual social networks. Now when we hear the word social network, we tend to think of things like Facebook and dating sites and online forums, basically all online things, digital things. And actually there are real life social networks, but everywhere in the world there are social networks, real life social networks. There are, a church is a social network. People meet at a certain time and they all get together and then they do what they do and then they talk and and people become friends and even get married through that social network. A bar is a social network. Remember the TV show Cheers? Everybody knows your name. Every bar has like its own people who show up every day or they show up after work, and people get to know each other and become friends or acquaintances just because they're shared proximity and they show up the same time and they get so these are all like a basketball court or a soccer pitch is a social network. The same people come there and play all the time, and you get to know those people, you play basketball with them. Also a workplace is a social network too, but these are all real life social networks. So the term social network has sort of been hijacked by these digital media companies. Now I've never owned a Facebook account. I have nothing against Facebook. It could be a very good tool to reconnect with old friends, to maintain relationships that are split across, your old friend that's in another state or something, another part of the country, and you can still kind of keep in touch and see what's going on with each other. I think it was a great tool for that. It has some business uses, so it's not a bad thing, but people have substituted these social networks for real life networks. So basically, everybody's plugged into these social networks. Like for example, dating. 95% of marriages, I think, occur people meeting in the real world. And online dating has been around for 20 years. Yet people still go and waste their time. Very few people are getting married and meeting in the online dating world. People still go waste their time and money and signing up to all these online dating sites and going on Facebook. And these desperate guys are like going on to these dating sites, and it's just such a waste of time, and has no connection with the reality too. You go on these sites and you don't know who you're talking to. All the information that's being presented is just basically there's no connection with reality. When you meet someone in real life, it's only reality. And I think all these things like Facebook, they're all tools. They can all enhance your social life to some extent. Same with YouTube. These are all tools, but they shouldn't really replace. They shouldn't replace your real life social networks. And I think people have forgotten how to interact with real life social situations. Like, for example, they call me, like, just because I talk to women and stuff on the streets. I don't just talk to women in my videos. I talk to all sorts of people. I like people. I like talking to people. But just because I say hello, how are you to a random stranger, they go, oh wow, you're weird, you're creepy. It just really shows how like people have gotten divorced from reality in favor of these online forms of engagement. So when people are actually in a real life situation, like for example, you throw one of these guys in a bar who spams Facebook with, and you throw them in a bar where there are women who are available and who are interested in chatting and stuff. The guy's paralyzed and frozen. You don't have to be like smooth or you can see me. First of all, I've had issues with like social anxiety. I've had issues. I've been shy. I've had a speech impediment my whole life, and I'm not the smoothest guy around. You can see that from my videos. But I still like interacting and engaging with people. I like people. I'm not going to stop just because like sometimes I get blown out of the water, rejected, or sometimes I get made fun of or criticized. I'm not going to stop engaging in the real world. I'm not going to just shut myself off and become a hermit because I'm not like the smoothest guy around. No, and actually, people are pretty nice to me 90% of the time. And even like, for example, like a lot of men have a one-track mind too. Like they expect, well, the only reason why you might talk to a girl is because you want to, three-letter word, because that's the only reason why you might want to talk to a person. No, sometimes I just enjoy, talking to people. Sometimes I might want to just talk to her. So I might not have any interest in that at all with her. She might not be my type at all, but I'm just being friendly, and it's called being a friendly and engaging person. The alternative to that is just to shut yourself off from the world. And the unfortunate thing in a lot of the West is, like in a lot of America, the environment is just built to where it completely shuts people off. I mean, first of all, you have to have a car. You get in your car in the garage, and then you drive to to the next garage, or wherever your workplace or wherever it is, and you're completely divorced from the elements and reality. You have no interaction with the world or the world around you. Like for example, when I want to get a cup of coffee in the morning, I could have a cup of coffee in my room. I could save some money doing that too. But I would rather be like some coffee shop or cafe where there's people around me. And even though I might never talk to those people, I just like being around people. I like being connected with the world, not just holed up in a room. And the life in a lot of Western cities and a lot of Western places where it's a very suburban life and it's very closed off from the rest of the world. You have your workplace, your school, and you have your home. And maybe you go to the supermarket and you check out, and you don't even, these supermarkets now, you just pay with a credit card and you can check out yourself. So there's no human action in this chain of existence in a lot of these suburban lifestyles. And I find that very unfortunate. You can see my videos from like Pattaya, Bangkok, even Japan. Every day you're surrounded by people. You go to the market, you have to buy fruit from this person, vegetables from this person, rice from this person. So you're interacting with all these different people, and you have people around you, people who are also other shopping customers. But in the West, that's sort of died out. So It's people are living alienated and almost automatized lives. People are living atomized lives in the West to a large extent, and they have a big void. A lot of people have a big void in their lives, and they go to, especially men, I think, because I think women are pretty social by nature. You ever hang out with women, and I come from a family that had a lot of women, a lot of aunts, and one thing about women is they strike up friendships and casual friendships with each other so easily. So women are very good at adapting socially to any environment, and they're really good at maintaining social networks among each other. It's the men that have the biggest problem, because men are really just geared towards working and making money and just being productive, and a lot of their psyche is so bent on that. But then they lose touch of the social nature. Men still want to be around people and interact with people, and especially they need female companionship too. But when they alienate themselves from the real world to such an extent, they basically become automatons, and they're in this productive world and they're producing. Yeah, they're going to work, but they lose all touch with all social interaction. So then they go into these dating sites and these Facebooks and stuff, and they try to fill a void. But it's sad and hopeless, doing that. And the only way to really remedy that, your built environment is probably working against you if you're already, that's not helping you. But there's still social networks you can plug yourself into. Like I said, there's sports activities, there's bars, there's these places, that places, there's clubs, there's organizations, there's churches. So when you start going to those places, you're not going to meet people right away, but over time, people are going to recognize you, and you start to develop some kind of accord and affinity with these groups, and you get plugged into these real life social networks. Because otherwise, you're completely isolated from your community and from having really any realistic chance of meeting women and developing good friendships and bonds with people. Because that's not going to occur online. Online things can enhance your life, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna make your life. I spent a lot of my adult life on the computer because I've always made my days trying to grind a profit on something, and there's been times I've hated computers, so I speak from experience, and that's why I never was really attracted to Facebook and things like that, because I thought, I'm already spending so much time on a computer. I don't want to have to spend any more time than I have to. Why would I go spend time on Facebook trying to develop a social network when I could do that in real life? Same thing even with smartphones. I made a conscious decision not to have a smartphone because like I said, I've already spent so much time on the computer. I don't want to be plugged into another screen. If I'm in the real world, whether I'm in a train or I'm walking around, or I like to be interacting with that world, not behind a smartphone. That's so I have experience from this, and I think a lot of guys, they don't know how to plug themselves into. Basically, we've lost touch with the social world, the real life social world. So they escape into things like video games and addictive behaviors, and they basically, kind of given up on the world. That's a shame. I've actually known a lot of these guys, and even a lot of people who are now who are successful, say, have a good social life and have a wife. They might have gone through a phase like that in their life. A lot of guys have. I think a lot of us have now in the modern world because, like I said, it's not just really conducive to. You really have to put yourself out there. It doesn't come to you.